Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the channel Indigo Angel. Come on into this dimension and come on into a powerful energy update for the 10-10-2025 portal. So today we are diving deep into the numerology and also the grid alignments of this portal and all of the galactic significance of this moment with specific guardian guidance for the United Kingdom. Because I have been speaking about the United Kingdom for some time now, if you go back through my videos, and if you've been following me about what's been happening in the UK. Um, Essentially, there is a war right now for Britain's soul. The battle has been being waged in the United Kingdom. It's not all political, like they want you to believe. It's very much a spiritual and a holy war, an interdimensional fight for um, power over these grids. And so, what is happening in the outer world is a result of deep planetary field interference, hybridization, invasion, experiments, um, conquer and divide, and Islamization. So, it is a religion, political conquest overlay that is tied to the fallen timelines and insertions of the Black Sun infiltration. So we're gonna get into the truth behind the current invasion and what is essentially happening there. And I want to say that, this is contextually setting the stage for um, what is happening through this 1010 portal. And so we're going to talk about this and work with this energy. And I want to say that I had an urgent question come from a viewer on the last video that I did, asking me, what can we do about what is happening in the UK? And I feel like that is a very legitimate question. That is a very urgent question that I would like to address in this update. So please stick with me through the entirety of this video. And if you want to just jump into the UK part of it, please scroll to about the second half, because I would like to break down a little bit the 1010 portal and just the numerology of 1010 today, and really what's going to kind of carry us to the next major portal, which is 1111. So, what's going to kind of unfold through this month, and what is upholding um, all of the frequency and all of the energy, and ultimately what is being illuminated by Three Eye Atlas and also the Swan Comet. So, the number 10 it symbolizes completion. It also symbolizes initiation and the end of a cycle and into the threshold of a new one. Um, and so it really is a master gateway frequency today. You may be feeling a lot of energy already coming through today. I know I have already been being kind of hit from multiple different directions. And what I'm noticing that um, even though you may be getting some sort of energy influxes that may be bringing things in that feel like mishaps, miscommunications, or even spiritual attacks on some level, because that does accelerate through these gateways. But one thing you may be noticing that there is a collapsing of the old, um, a collapsing of decay, a clearing out of decay, a clearing out of old, erosive, temporal, inverted behavior patterns. And what is pushing through is a birthing of higher dimensional templates that are collapsing down the old structures and the old systems that just represent the decayed timelines. And ushering us in and through and into the rehabilitation windows. As you guys know, we're going through a major, and some of you may not know, but we are going through a major Stargate rehabilitation timeline from 2025 all the way to 2044. And so we're going to be receiving a lot of these rehabilitation upgrades over the next 20 years. And so right now, what's reflecting is it's a moment to choose really in these timelines what frequencies in the field that you're going to inhabit moving forward. What are you going to allow and not allow anymore type of thing? And you should be feeling empowered through the 1010 gateway. You shouldn't be feeling remorseful. You shouldn't be feeling like you have to apologize for anything or defend yourself from anything. That this is a time to stand in your choices of what is truly representing something that is corrupted or corrosive and standing on business. This is what the 1010 portal is truly about. Initiation, completion, and really kind of getting to the fulfillment of that inner essence of sacred inner intimacy and inner sacred security and inner sacred safety in your temple. So, yes, a lot is really transpiring through this gateway, but I feel like overall you should be feeling a huge significant boost in your morale, in your confidence, and what it is you truly stand for and represent. The 1010 portal will carry you and only illuminate the higher timelines if you continue to choose those higher timelines. And relinquish the world of lack and relinquish the world of suffering and making those covenants to yourself and to the source itself, that you seal those covenants in light. And so also, we're having a major battle out for the grids right now. This is about who controls the grids, what areas of the grids that they control, where the New World Order is ultimately setting up their encampments for their next pushes into the 2030 and the 2050 agendas. So, right now, Earth's ley lines are under attack in many, many different zoning regions of the United States, such as Portland, Oregon, such as Dearborn, Michigan, such as Chicago, such as New York City. These are all major battlegrounds right now in the US where the control over the grid infrastructure is highly in the thick of the third and the fourth dimensional Earth timelines and battle zones. Also, heavily and majorly in the United Kingdom right now, as I do feel this is ground zero for the New World Order, and we're going to get into all of that. But essentially, on the positive note, the organic and holistic timelines, the Edenic timelines, and where new Earth is emerging and surfacing, Earth's ley lines and the solar sun disks activate during the 1010 gateway because it is connected to the solar planetary logos consciousness, and it is a part of the Diamond Templar architecture within the planet. Okay, so all of the defender networks are activated right now. Why? Because we're gearing up to go into heavier and more dense portions of the warfare timelines, okay, and the lower timelines, and the Mars and Maldek and Marduk timelines, the Anunnaki timelines, the Draco Hive timelines, as they push through, particularly through the 10th Stargate linked to Mount Hermon in Israel. Okay. This starts to stir up the distortions as we go into the gateway of the solar Christ alignments, the 1212 gateways. And what's cleansing right now, particularly on the higher timelines and through that gate system, through the Draco Hive, which was relocated, Stargate 10 was relocated to Iran. Okay, in between those zones, we're collapsing down the fallen Elohim, the fallen Watchers, and the Nephilim overlays. And so, because this is happening, because Trump's peace deal just got accepted and the hostages are supposedly getting returned, okay, these are the Nephilim wars of our time. Nothing is out of reach. Nothing is not what you think it is type of thing. Everything is spiritually on a warfare level, what you think of it. So right now we are being offered opportunities for reclamation. And the Guardians are reporting heightened spiritual warfare during this portal because of those collapses and because of all of the changes that are fluctuating at Stargate 10, which ultimately impact the rest of the world at very high levels. So the message is to stay vigilant because the grids are the war zones right now. Okay, the grids, the ley lines, and the war zoning areas where the power for the grids, the polarity for the power is up for grabs, and everybody's trying to grab and scramble for that power, trying to solidify their own sanctity, trying to solidify their own right to exist, trying to solidify their own war against who and what they deem as their oppressors. And everybody is pointing the arrow at the center of the division. Okay, so the 1010 portal is a galactic synchronization point. And what we are experiencing is a thinning of the veil between Earth and guardian solar frequencies from the 12D to the 144D harmonics. If you're aligned with the guardian covenants, you might feel stronger. Again, cutting through the bullshit, feeling like you can make those decisions and not have to apologize for your autonomy, not have to apologize for your authority, not have to apologize for your downloads, your activations, and your memory that's returning right now, the memory of your truth. The Christos Sophia shield is aligning more easily within the human angelic DNA, and it is amplifying your inner light right now. So every 1010 portal has massive collective implications, but it is ultimately setting many resets within the arc of humanity for the next decade on a micro scale. It might be hard to see, but your choices individually and collectively reverberate for 10 years forward into the future on the 1010 portal. Think wisely. Think about your future today. Think about where you want to be in 10 years and give yourself the best and most highest emanation of that dream within your dream fields. Because we're awakening to the fact right now that we can pull from the dream fields. You are autonomous and authoritized in this ability. And so in 2025, this is critical. We are in the middle of a galactic quarantine rehabilitation window from 2025 to 2044. And all of the decisions that are made now and your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your dream fields, they're going to shape Earth's ascension path over the next 10 to 20 years. This is individually, again, and collectively. So it is imperative that we are conscious and that we are steadfast. And the guardian guidance that I have been getting for 10, 10, 20, 25 is that, well, simply that the guardians are very clear. Use this portal to seal your intentions for the next 10 years of your mission. Anchor in the Swan and the Dove grid, right? Because it's the highest emanation of the eternal priestess and priesthoods, and strengthen those purity and peace codes, which is what the United States is bringing to the world right now under the leadership of Donald Trump. He is up for a Nobel Peace Prize. He is up for this, particularly if these hostage gets returned. You know he's going to win that. That is something that all Americans should feel, whether they're on the left, the radical left, or the radical right, or the radical center. We all should come back to understanding our greater role in the delivery of what the United States represents to the rest of the world, that we are the center point and the center stage of the Christos embodiment. We represent the eye of the hurricane, not the external chaos, even though the chaos does magnify within our own grid structures. So anything and everything that you can do today on 1010 to participate in grid prayer, grid ceremony, or meditation, even at sacred sites right now, I'm really getting the serpent mounds. I'm really getting the Devil's Tower. I'm really getting Sedona, Arizona. Mount Shasta. Yes, all these beautiful spaces and places that these are locations that will shift the grids at the most highest and powerful levels to make that impactful difference in light. So now let's bring this cosmic energy into the grounded reality of the United Kingdom. As in my last video that I did with Rob on Typical Skeptic, shout out to Rob, a viewer asked a very powerful and urgent question. And she said, what can we do in the UK about what is happening to our country? And I think that really stuck with me. So thank you so much for asking it. I think this question carries so much heart and so much concern, right? Because the United Kingdom is truly at a crossroads. They are truly facing intense pressures right now, culturally, politically, financially, and spiritually. And the Guardians have described the United Kingdom as ground zero for New World Order, the one world religion agenda, the one world caliphate, and Islamization of the globe. It's not just about Europe. People need to wake up and open their eyes that there is a financial reset unfolding. There is a push towards a globalist, um, feudalistic, fatalistic web that they're installing. And to anchor the apex of that web into the UK is such a win for the technocratic billionaires of Qatar and beyond into other sectors. Okay, so what is being termed as the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution means that there are new laws that are crushing people, especially one of the places where you can see it the most right now in the UK is around the housing and ownership issues because people in the United Kingdom cannot afford homes. They really, truly, genuinely cannot afford to live. All of the eviction laws are tightening on these people, and it does seem to be oriented towards the patriots and towards the citizens of their country, not to the asylum seekers, not to the illegal alien immigration. And many are being squeezed towards a crisis. Of course, young people can't afford any of these things, right? They have lost a lot of hope, feeling like they don't even have a future. Regardless of all of that, okay, there's a reason that's behind this because of what the technocratic um, New World Order, one world religion billionaires are doing at the top levels. Okay, we're going to get into that. Freedom of speech is under a threat. In the UK, they technically do not have it there, even though they like to parade that they do. And they have two-tier policing that's creating division, particularly a loss of rights for Christians. And essentially anybody who's not of the Islamic faith, anybody who is considered a kafir, anybody who is considered not a soldier of Allah, okay? Anybody who doesn't believe a particular ideology, they are being um, zeroed in on, they are being targeted, and they are being reduced to nothing. And their ability to pray in public has been removed as well. Their rights to do things like should not have been taken away. Their right to pray in public, this should not be taken away. So, what they are experiencing is an Islamization of Europe, and not just of Europe. It's all of the West, a process they believe is well underway with projections pointing to 2050 as a irreversible tipping point. Okay, so just to put this in perspective, key planetary symptoms of this infiltration include, and I'm sure some of you have probably heard this before, and I speak about this because my ancestors are from Europe. I am 100% a European descendant living in the United States. So, of course, I care about the culture in which I descended from. Of course, I'm going to speak out against their oppressors, right? I told you all arrows are pointing to the center against their own oppression. Their key symptoms of infiltration include over 1,800 mosques, many built on top of ancient Christian and Druidic sites, because Islam is a political agenda and they are colonizers. Okay? People need to wake up to this fact. 80 plus active Sharia courts operating parallel to British civil law, 50 plus Sharia councils with jurisdiction over marriage, women's rights, and family law, and criminal law, as many of the um, raping, the grooming, the raping, all of this whole thing, there has not been justice that has been served. Mayors of London, Birmingham, Leeds, Blackburn, Sheffield, Oxford, Luton, Oldham, Rochdale are all following Islamic political frameworks. And so, yeah, this is not integration. It is a gradual theocratic replacement achieved through biosocial political programming and dark grid mechanics. It is a soft jihad that has infiltrated through Takia, which all means necessary to push the agenda. Okay, that is to lie, that is to steal, that is to rape, that is to rob, to push the agenda, which paves the way for more aggression, dominion, if not stopped. And the Albion grid is under siege because of this. Okay, so we need to really break this down. We need to break it down because why is this happening? How could this happen? Well, it's the billionaires and the technocrats and those in bed with the draconian hive of Qatar at the United Nations first and foremost. And then it breaks down to the UK's economy that is relying heavily on foreign investments. Over 50 billion from Gulf countries since 2010 alone. All the wealthy Islamic billionaires, okay? Wealth funds like Qatar, like the Qatarian Investment Authority, the United Arab Emirates, Mubadala, they own all of the major stakes in the United Kingdom infrastructure. They own Barclays Bank, Heathrow Airport, the Shard, Battersea Power Station. The Gulf billionaires control over 30 plus, I'm going to say 30 plus percent of London's prime real estate, which influences those housing policies and the urban planning, specifically targeting particular groups, okay? Specifically raising rates and spiking rates on particular groups of people to attack their well-being, to push either to continue to push economic disparity on them. Okay, not only that, in finance, Islamic Sharia compliant banking is now a 4 billion sector in the United Kingdom with figures like Sir Anwar Pervez of the Bestway Group owning banks and shaping fintech regulations. Politically, we see influence too of Zia Youssef, a British Muslim tech entrepreneur. It is recorded that he has donated over $200,000 to the Reform United Kingdom Party in 2024. Do not vote Reform. All of my British patriots, all of my United Kingdom people, do not vote for the Reform Party because this is showing you exactly how this wealth can amplify the voices, okay, of the ones that ultimately want to place you in submission to their ideology, into their way of life against your will. So this is all coming through the funding. You have to follow the money on this. Now, some narratives go deeper in this, and they're circulating widely, and there's a belief that the UK is being positioned as the 58th Islamic nation under an expansionist agenda. Okay? This is a silent psyop of the world while they distract you with the blows of Israel and Palestine. Okay? While they convert you under the manipulative emotional words of dead babies and apartheid and genocide, intentionally stabbing you violently with submit, 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 submit dialogue. Okay, energetic and jihadic attack through positioning of manipulation of your emotions. Okay, and not allowing you to see that this has always been about a globalist new one world religion order. UK is the ground zero for this, not only from the technocratic billionaires of the West, but also from the technocratic billionaires of the Draco invaded Qatarian systems. Okay, ownership allegedly, titles of the UK allegedly sitting in the Qatari prince's castle. We argue that this is a deliberate move to criminalize compassion towards Christians and erode the traditional values of the United Kingdom, all while advancing a unified, collective, particular narrative. And these are heavy claims. And I hear and feel what I'm saying as I say it. But I think we're at a precipice where denial is no longer something that people can sit here and just pretend anymore. Okay? You can't deny that this is happening anymore. That's not going to save you. I'm speaking specifically to the people in the UK. You have to put those bootstraps on and you have to rise up to the reality of what is occurring. Because I hear you. These concerns are real for so many, and the Guardians acknowledge the weight of this moment. But here's my response, and it's rooted in clarity and empowerment. The UK is under this immense pressure, and people are going to have to soon face really tough choices. And that's why I pulled up my map, is because I want you to look at this, okay? I want you to pay attention to these areas here that are in red. What can you do about this if you reside in the United Kingdom? I would say for one, you might consider relocating eastward, okay, to countries with strong cultural and spiritual roots. Do you have family there? Do you have ancestors there? Like Poland, they have strong borders and a strong Christian value set. And when push comes to shove, people who are not of the Christian faith are going to be teaming up with the Christian faith because they're going to be a minority, and the minority has to stick together to survive, right? So you would want to consider relocating eastward to countries with these strong spiritual and cultural and strong border roots like Poland, Romania, potentially Slovakia, Cyprus, or even Greece, nations with high rates of deep belief in God. I think you could also explore your options of seeking asylum in places like the United States or Israel as well. Okay, Israel sounds a little crazy to seek asylum there, but hey, you never know. Again, right? I told you guys there are shifts going on, massive power grid shifts that are occurring. So power is getting relocated. And it doesn't mean it's getting delocated from countries that represent the Western and free world. So you can relocate or seek asylum, or you can stand your ground. And that's why these areas are highlighted in red, is because if you stand your ground, what has to happen? You have to draw back into the smaller and more cohesive Christian heart-centered communities. And then you have to draw boundaries and you have to stand your guard. That's basically what has to happen. Reclaiming your local territories inch by inch by inch of what has been taken and refusing to surrender your sovereignty to the globalist structures through the technocratic ID systems, because this is only going to enslave you more to the New World Order, to the one world religion agenda. And above all, what I've gotten from the Guardians is be, again, be, and I already just said this, but I need to say it again, Be entirely real about the timeline that we are in. Denial will not protect you, and they emphasize creating 10-year safety plans. Again, we're on the 10-year, the 10-10 portal. Okay, today's a good day to solidify that safety plan. They emphasize creating 10-year safety plans, preparing for any scenario, both spiritually and materially. And I want to go through this guidance step by step so you can deliver this with strength and clarity. Local cohesion over national illusion. Okay, it's time to look around you. It is time to see where your strength lies in small, cohesive communities, your towns, your villages, your neighborhoods, and build those groups aligned in shared values, mutual defense systems, and spiritual sovereignty. These will be your anchors. These will be your protection. Okay, you have to start stepping out of the world of being on your phone 24/7 and wake up to the reality of what's going on, boots on the ground. It is time to come out of the phone and enter into your physical reality and take note of what is occurring around you 360 degrees and start finding your community in the physical. This is very significant and very important. Also, anchoring into the power of the grid that you have that is there. Again, I told you power structures are shifting in the grids, and the UK is the land of Albion. It is holding the ancient Christos codes in its stone circles, in its ley lines, in its sacred sites. This will remind you of who you are, where you came from, what the United Kingdom represents, what it stands for. You have to find that inside you. You cannot defend your country if that energy is lost, dead, or uncared for anymore. The guardians urge you to anchor into these places. It's time to go to Stonehenge. It's time to go to Avebury. It's time to go to Cornwall and St. Michael's Mount. It's time to go there in groves, in legions, in groups, in communities. And activate, activate, activate the power of the returning of the Albion. Okay? It's time to activate. The 11th dimensional Grail Stargate. The United Kingdom houses one of the Earth's most essential instruction sets here. The Stonehenge is an 11th dimensional transmission center and override node. St. Michael's Mount in Glastonbury and Avalon is the Rose Line convergence points in the Magdalen passageways. Scotland's Iona and the Isle of Skye is the Dragon and Dove Node convergence site. Ireland's Eye and Tara are Celtic Christos record vaults housing the Solar Grail crown, and St. Ives Bay in Cornwall is an Atlantean crystalline interface and geomantic ether gate, and these nodes correspond to the pineal instruction sets for collective planetary consciousness. And these gates are reclaimed, they are recalibrated. The human divine interface, it purifies the distorted timelines of invasion and replacement and initiate the pineal crystal matrix reset. A core requirement for DNA activation, sovereign gnosis, and direct source alignment. And the Albion light body is the planetary crown and central dragon node of the northern hemisphere. The distortion of this field results of loss of memory, spiritual confusion, timeline collapse across the entire global template. It is time to take that back and activate again. Activate, 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 my friends. These sites are reservoirs of planetary strength, sustaining your consciousness and offering you protection of the United Kingdom. You have to fire these systems up. Also, refuse that digital ID. The UK, again, testing ground for digital surveillance, ID systems. Everything that they want to initiate, they're doing it here. Why? Because the people are the weakest. You guys are beaten down. It's not that you're weak internally, right? It's that you are being systematically attacked. You are being terrorized. That makes you a fertile crescent for the manipulators. You have to realize psychologically what they are doing and the tactics of war they are using against your consciousness. And they're doing this through movements like Antifa. They are doing this through movements like the Antifada, the anti-father, the anti-Christ. They're using these to broader the control agendas. The Guardians have been telling me to say to prepare now, build alternative exchange systems, underground alternative exchange systems, barter, local currencies, resource sharing. Create organic economies that can outlast dependency on digital control. President Trump here has promised the American people that he will not allow the digital currency here. They will not allow it here. You need to get behind your political leaders that are vouching for these types of things and stand by them. Also, pay attention to what's going on in your community. Are there things down the street from your house that are out of alignment with the values of the United Kingdom? Then you need to report this to your structures and your systems. Get involved. Start being the nag, start being the hag, start being the Karen. All is holds bar in war. The battle for the UK soul. This is so I'm not here to promote war. The Guardians are not here to promote war. Let me say this officially and say this now, first and foremost. But they are saying to prepare. You need to be prepared. You are not a victim. You are not one to be ran over and thrown in the trash. You are not weak. This is about recognizing your empowerment and where you've been disempowered as a people. And this is about finding courage and strength, and this is about revolution. This is about spiritual shields against the AI narratives and the media manipulation that is intensifying against you and your people, especially with AI generated narratives. The Guardians have instructed me to say practice daily discernment rituals, shield yourself from fear loops, and don't feed into energy that is divisive propaganda. If it is divisive propaganda to create war, they're false stories. This is about learning how to decipher truth and really follow the currents of truth. I can tell you this is something that my 16-year-old is learning in social studies. They teach this in American high schools. They teach you to decipher truth from propaganda. So stay clear, stay grounded, understand the bigger picture of what's going on around you. And again, that safety and relocation planning. So for some, relocation will be necessary. And again, this is about the next 10-year plan for those in the UK. You have to start thinking about this now. The Guardians recommend having that clear 10-year plan, knowing your routes, connect with supported families or allied nations. And this isn't about fleeing in fear, it's about preparing with wisdom. And focus on that inner Christos alignment. Okay, this isn't about Christianity. This is about cosmic Christic covenants. The one source, eternal God and pathway to ascension between the primal eternal law of creation into the eternal covenants with the earth. This affirms your true defense is spiritual. It is not military. The Christos Sophia embodiment, the divine light within you, is your shield against assimilation into the New World Order, into the one world religion agenda, into the holy wars, into the AI, or all of the radicalized extremist control systems. Anchor this light daily through prayer, meditation, and intention. And finally, Guardian networking is so important. Connect with other guardian aligned souls. Create safe houses of light, not just physical homes, but spiritual charged spaces where group meditation, prayer, and grid anchoring happen regularly. These will form the backbone of resistance to AI assimilation and external control. And the core message from the Guardians is do not deny again what is happening. I am going out on a limb to say all the things that I'm saying today, and I'm doing this sticking my neck out because of the importance of what I see and feel as truth and what my sacred brothers and sisters need to hear. Do not wait for governments to fix this. They won't. They don't care. They have allowed it, and they're going to continue to allow it. Do not believe survival is only about relocation or resistance. It's about conscious preparation, grid anchoring, and spiritual cohesion. The UK carries an ancient covenant through the Albion body and is a sacred promise that will never be erased. Please know that. It will never be erased. But it requires guardians on the ground to stand, prepare, and act with wisdom. So, yeah, guys, it is a lot. I know it is a lot. This energy update was a lot. I know you're probably feeling it. I know I can feel it just saying it, but this 10-10-20-25 portal is a significant cosmic window for you to align, for you to anchor, and for you to act. And I want you to know that all of my UK brothers and sisters, sacred guardians, you are not alone, that we are standing with you over here in the United States. We see what's going on, and we are here to hold that light and that strength and those Christos codes and to help sustain you in that and within you. And the Albion light is beneath your feet. So seal your intentions, connect with your communities, hold the line, hold the grid worker line over there, and share this message with anyone that you feel that needs to hear this right now. Okay? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And learn more about grid work. Consider taking my grid worker courses. I have 3 courses from beginner all the way to the expert levels, and those are at learn.indigoangel222.com. Everything is pre-recorded and access for life. And it gets you all the information about grid work. So that way, you can truly learn the next of spiritual evolutionary technology that is building the new earth, literally building it, literally anchoring heaven on earth. So until next time, my beautiful friends, stay sovereign, stay strong, keep shining your light. Thank you for being here. Put a big like on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.